Welcome, everybody, to San Antonio, Texas. I am Reed Rosales, along with Annika Sainz, here for a new season of Trinity University women's basketball. It's an exciting matchup. It's a repeat matchup from last year's opener, except last year's opener was up in Marshall. It's the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor Crusaders versus the Trinity University Tigers. An exciting matchup, Annika, to be sure. And you've been in this position before. Is opening day never not exciting?
Opening day is just always filled with so many different nerves. I think there's excitement. I think there's just an eagerness to get to play against different opponents. I know that Trinity had scrimmaged St. Mary's a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago, and I don't know, it's always a good excitement to just play against other people. And it's the beginning of a very long season. You know, you can't always measure where we're at this point of the season, but it's good to see camaraderie come together, team chemistry, and just to get out there and play.
And our final part of this broadcast, Caleb Reed, our on-court reporter. Caleb has some interesting information for us. Caleb, we'll send it down to you.
So one of the big players from last season, Natalie Anderson, down there in the post, she was a massive impact for Trinity last season, but only in the first half of the season. She ended up tearing her ACL just before Christmas break. Unfortunately, was unable to return. Was granted a medical hardship, which is great for Trinity. However, she will not be in for this game. The reason for that, she fractured her foot yesterday. Ran into her coming up to the gym earlier, so she fractured her foot yesterday. Unsure at the moment of a recovery timetable, but absolutely brutal for one of Trinity's best players to have gone down 2 straight years with a big injury like that.
Well, thank you for that, Caleb. Yes, lineup shakeups happening already here in this early season. Natalie Anderson not in for the Tigers. Big impact player for them usually, but, you know, Annika, we saw them play Our Lady of the Lake a couple weeks ago without Natalie Anderson, and with a bunch of different lineups, the Tigers fared very well for themselves.
Yes. I mean, I think the Tigers are known pretty much around the country for their pretty aggressive press, and nothing wavered from last year. We had 2 really good quarters of man and zone hard presses, full court, and then they kind of gave up, but not gave up, but they kind of pushed back into a half-court defense too, and that didn't waver. I think it's pretty obvious that Trinity is a pretty big three-point threat, and I think we saw St. Mary's. They came off so hot. I think they started off 7 for 9, which was absolutely insane, but of course the Tigers responded in a great way.
And one of the big things was that press defense. They forced 19 turnovers and turned that into 22 points.
They did. And I think that's another thing that they're trying to adjust to. We had Maggie Robbins, our senior last year, who graduated, but she was such a defensive threat and such a defensive presence. And for them to adjust this year, I really don't think that there's been a step off from the game that I saw last, that scrimmage. That intensity has just always been there, and I think it's really good. We'll get to see Livy Savignon and Jivy Cáceres make their debut here, along with some other freshmen, but they stood out to me the most out of that scrimmage. They were at the top of some of the zone defenses, and they made their presence known. I know Jivy had a couple pickpockets here and there, so I'm excited to see what they bring tonight.
We'll take a break on the Tiger Network so we don't get copyright struck for playing the national anthem. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back for when tip-off occurs.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential, to take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college, fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.
Senior center, Remy Adeloke. Number 22, a 5'9" junior forward, Amelia Powell. Number 25, a 6'1" junior forward, Josie Ruder. Number 33, a 5'9" sophomore forward, Addison James. The assistant coaches are Erin McNabb and Abby Spurgeon. Head coach of the crew, Katie Novak-Lenore. University of Mary Hardin-Baylor Crusaders. And your attention is directed to the video boards. Starting lineup for the Trinity University Tigers. Number 0, a 5'6" senior guard from Beaverton, Oregon, Josie Napoli. Number 3, a 5'5" junior guard from Reed City, Texas, Kylie Minter. Number 4, a 5'8" senior guard from Argyle, Texas, Bailey Timmons. Number 22.
All right, welcome back to the Tiger Network. Just run you through the starters for each side. The Tigers, you can see, are having their starters gather on the Tiger logo. Starters are Josie Napoli, Kylie Minter, Bailey Timmons, Elaine King, and Natalie Greenwood. So two very tall players for the Tigers, and Elaine King and Greenwood in the starting lineup for Trinity. Meanwhile, for Mary Hardin-Baylor, it's JC Briscoe, Amelia Fowler, Josie Bruder, Addison James, and Remy Adeloke starting for the crew. Interesting lineups for both sides. Things coming to a huddle, and we are almost underway here in San Antonio.
Let's see how these teams line up here. All upperclassmen starting for the Tigers. The lasting seniors, Josie Napoli and Bailey Timmons. And we have Natalie Greenwood, Kylie Minter, and Elaine King as our juniors. What do we got going for UMHB? What's their
It is King going up for the tip-off.
We got 3 freshmen.
UMHB wins the opening tip-off for the season. See what they can do with the ball first. Tigers trying to keep the pressure on. Get it back out to the arc. Trying to work her way in. Go back out, 3 taken. And it's drained. Josie Bruder puts the Crew up 3.
It's a really good idea for UMHB to start off pretty aggressive and, puncture that paint and see how many Tiger jerseys you can see. Oh, it's taken off by UMHB.
That was a Dilake to take that ball away, but the ball punched out. Ball to the Tigers.
Good defensive effort by Bailey Timmons, coming back and swatting the ball a little bit for it to come off the thigh of UMHB's player.
Yeah, punching out of the arms of Emilian Fowler. Now you see Minter working her way down the court. Hands it off to King, back to Minter. Minter in the paint. Can't finish, but gets fouled.
Good puncture by Kylie Minter. I know that the Tigers may try and work off this little motion of getting a center to come up to the top of the key and working off of that. We saw that a little bit in the scrimmage against St. Mary's, and I think it worked very well with them, especially with guards like Josie Napoli and Kylie Minter being good decision makers. And then just seeing how far they can puncture, maybe pass it out a little bit. But it's a great idea for Kylie Minter to get started early and get to the charity stripe. And she just made her first one. Let's see if she can connect on that second one at the charity stripe.
1-3, UMHB still leading. But Minter with an opportunity to cut the deficit. That was a bit of a false start.
A little bit of a leap. Okay, let's see. The Tigers start off pretty aggressively in their full court trap.
First attempt doesn't go, but the putback by Adilake. So Crew go up by 3.
Great puncture by Adilake. Even though she didn't make it, her teammate was in great position to finish off that possession.
Moving her way down is Timmons, hands it off to Napoli. Napoli working it in, tries to get it back out. One of the Crew players got a hand on it. That was JC Briscoe, but Tiger ball. Tigers in the black unis, while Crew in purple. Hand it back out to Kylie Minter. Minter goes to her left, working her way in. Another foul. Minter will head back to the free throw line.
Yes, and another good puncture by Kylie Minter. She got past her first defender pretty well, got her on her hip, and then she just decided to attack the basket again, once again, very aggressively. It's a good thing to see her get it started pretty early. Let's see if she can go 2 for 2 again at this line.
This weekend has been friendly to the Trinity Tigers in every sport.
Yes, it has. Nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
First one doesn't go for Minter. Yeah, both men's and women's soccer are in the SCAC championships.
And Colorado, our men's team just beat Colorado last night. It was a good one for them.
Yeah. They beat Bethany Lutheran, 99.
Oh, there we go, in Colorado. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, they were in Colorado.
Yes.
And Jacob Harvey got a buzzer beater today. Quick work from Briscoe. 2 more points for the Crew.
That was a really good slice and dice by Briscoe, just kind of going through the entire Tiger defense. I think they need to see what they can do better about stopping the ball before it enters half court for UMHB. And a tie ball goes back to the Tigers at the baseline. Minter passing it in.
The Crew suffered a loss in the opener last year to Trinity. Trying to rewrite history here. 3 for Kylie Minter.
It was a beautiful play by Kylie Minter. As soon as she passed it up to Natalie Greenwood, she just snuck right into that right corner, and someone was off of her by 3 feet, which was already a mistake, and she just let it fly, and it went.
Ball doesn't fall for the Crew. The shot by Adilake not going. So Tigers in transition once again. Everyone's set. Napoli having to deal with Briscoe. Works it in. Ball's off of a Crew player. Hands it right back to Napoli, who gives it to Timmons. Timmons loses the ball. Briscoe and the Crew back on offense. Hands it to Bruder. Shot up and good for Bruder.
was a really great decision taking that little mid-range.
Kylie Minter.
Fowler picking up pretty high, applying some great pressure.
Minter up top. Napoli with the ball. Hands it off to Minter. Minter faked a 3 there. Get it in to Natalie Greenwood. Greenwood being swarmed by Adilake. Somehow gets it to King, but loses the ball. Briscoe with the ball once again.
You see Bailey Timmons working her way back.
Ball is loose. It's taken by Greenwood. No whistles blown, so play will continue. They get it to Greenwood. Greenwood in the paint. Loses the ball, but right in the hands of Timmons. Timmons works her way to her right, but backs up. Now tries to pierce again. Trying to find Minter, but instead intercepted by Briscoe.
There was 3 defenders around her. I think maybe the Tigers could have slowed the ball down just a little bit, maybe get that possession going. They maybe sped up a little bit, but I'm sure they'll find their way back.
Both sides trying to find some offense. Napoli will get fouled.
Great puncture by Josie. I mean, the Tigers are still remaining very aggressive, which is good. You saw that those first 2 possessions when Kylie Minter went to the line, but it's good to see Josie Napoli trying to get herself started. And she'll go to the line off of that little Euro, and she inevitably got fouled.
Two shots.
Now 2 shots for Napoli. She is the second Tiger on the board tonight. Before that, all the points were thanks to Kylie Minter.
Let's see if the Tigers will come back in this press. UMHB has had some good success over it the last couple possessions.
Crew being swarmed by that ambush of Tigers. Leads to an errant pass, but right into the hands of Emilian Fowler, who finishes it.
There's a little bit of a risk for Natalie Greenwood to kind of see if she can get that ball. But UMHB has done a great job at finishing in transition and breaking that press.
It's another personal foul for the Crew. They're already at 4 as a team.
They got to be a little careful, especially we're not even at the media timeout yet.
Minter chucks it in to Timmons. Timmons to Napoli. Napoli at the far side of the court. She works her way in. Dishes it to Timmons, loses the ball, regains control. Timmons kicks it out to Napoli. The 3 up, too short. Goes out. Tiger ball, they say. So Trinity will get another opportunity. They're down by 3. So looking to shoot the 3 to tie the game again.
The Tigers are really good at looking for that baseline pass, especially when help comes off on that block.
Minter trying to work her way in. She does. She's in the arc. Hands it back out to Timmons. But it'll be ball for the Crew and quite see.
Was that foul on Minter? I think she set an illegal screen as she was trying to hand it off to Timmons. Tigers back in this press.
They get it down to Addison James. James goes up to Rachel Okoye. Now, 23 up, going back up. The Crew.
Good help by Josie Napoli as Natalie Greenwood's defender was driving baseline. She was at the right time at the right place, got her hands in there for the deflection.
Yes.
14 seconds left on that clock.
She slapped the pass of Carly Kronk. Now it'll be Okoye try and find one of her teammates. She does. She finds Fowler. Fowler going back down to Bruder, who hands it to Okoye. Okoye dealing with Tigers, but that little mid-range jumper is perfect.
Seems like UMHB is connecting on every angle right now. In the set offense and in the transition. Kylie Minter takes the 3 off of one more pass from Bailey Timmons. And let's see UMHB in transition.
Okoye
Couldn't connect.
Napoli and the Tigers once again hands it off to Minter. Minter having to deal with Okoye. Ends up breaking free. Can't finish it, but rebound by Elaine King. Kicks it back out. Wow, nutmegged Bailey Timmons.
even though that possession ended in a little turnover, I think it's really important to see the intention behind that play with Elaine King and who was that? Kylie Minter. We saw this a lot in the St. Mary's scrimmage. A lot of backdoors were happening. Obviously, defenders are realizing that they're trying to get to the basket. Trinity is a very well, it's a very well shooting three-point team. So, defenses are going to be playing pretty aggressively. Even though Kylie didn't connect on that one, it was a really good thought. But I hope to see more of that this game, especially in the set offense. Just kind of letting it come to them, reacting off of defense, maybe not letting them, force some things. But I'm eager to see how they'll adjust to that coming out of this timeout.
Right now for the Tigers, it's really ball control. There's been a couple of good possessions that have just been lost because drop the ball. Tigers right now, 5 turnovers as a team. They haven't gotten a shot in the basket in 4 minutes.
Yeah, and it comes down to the fact that you need to take care of the ball because the more points you're going to score is based off of how many shots you take. And I know that we're getting possessions, like we're getting those offensive rebounds. You just saw in that last possession, Elaine King came off of Kylie Minter's miss, and she grabbed it. It's just making sure that you take care of that ball and making sure that you get another good shot.
Looks like the Tigers will head back out onto the court. A couple new faces.
You have Ivory Scott and Skyer Work making their debut here, their first game of the 2024-2025 season.
The Crew are ready as well. Caitlin Brooks on the court for the Crew. She's number 34.
UMHB's ball headed into this possession.
Olaf Fowler throw it in. Spencer Collier back to Fowler. Crew trying to expand their lead. Shot from within the arc doesn't fall, but offensive rebound for the Crew. Kick it back out. Collier backing it up. Crew wanting to take their time. They get it in. Whistle blown.
Number 0, Josie Napoli, that's her first.
So they'll call it on Napoli. Crew will have to throw it in again.
It's been a very long defensive possession for the Tigers. I know that they missed that first rebound.
Pass it in. And Adila K doesn't finish, but a great offensive board for the Crew. Million Fowler. The pass goes to head coach for the Tigers, Cameron Hill.
He was ready.
Yeah. He was not going to take a shot, though.
Not like Jimmy.
Yeah, no, Jimmy would. Any day of the week. King goes down to Minter, almost punched away. Sky O'Rourke back down to Minter. Minter trying to work her way in the arc. It's been tough for the Tigers. She gets fouled on. It's a whistle blown after the very physical play.
I want to say that was on Fowler, if I'm not mistaken. It was. Million Fowler with her, I don't know which foul this is.
For Fowler, that is first foul for Fowler. With Tigers in the bonus now, because that's 5.
It is. We have some new faces coming in for the Tigers. You have Jalen Martin and Maddie Muller. As Minter goes up. This is her 3rd time at the line today. She connects on the first one.
Breaks the scoring drop for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's really important for these Tigers to just close out possessions on defense. I know in that last offensive possession, even though UMHB kind of threw it away, they had 2 offensive rebounds just merely off of not boxing out. And it's even boxing out the person that's at the 3-point line. It's not always boxing out the person that's in the paint. Because they stormed in. Let's see how they adjust with these new players for this press.
Crew having to feel the effects of the press very early on, but they break it. Briscoe is able to finish.
Seems like UMHB is just dissecting this Tiger press. It's really important, and I think they figured it out, of just going diagonal off of each pass and just staying patient. They really are just reacting off of the Tiger defense.
Scott, she goes through the spin. She gets fouled. Tigers are really working the charity stripe tonight.
And they're staying aggressive, and it's really important, too. I'm glad to see Ivory Scott just, pretty much the first possession that she's had this ball in. She needs to have that scoring mentality, especially, coming into, we've kind of had a little bit of a dry spell, scoring-wise, and she's ready to get that started. And we see number 1, Jivy Gasares, a freshman, coming in for Kylie Minter, and let's see which impact she can have coming into the last few minutes of this first quarter.
One of a handful of freshmen for this Trinity squad. Showed a lot of promise during that match against Our Lady of the Lake. Same match. Same match. I'm still in volleyball mode mentally. Got to get into basketball mode.
It was Our Lady of the Lake. I kept saying St. Mary's. It was Our Lady of the Lake. That is on me. And the ball thrown away by UMHB off of a Tiger press.
Yeah, that's what you want to see if you're the Tigers.
Yes.
Muller with the ball.
Good backdoor cut.
Oh, they call an offensive foul. Unfortunate for the Tigers. That was a great scoring opportunity.
I think if Skywork just would have gathered herself maybe for a little millisecond, she could have just done one of those little one dribbles over the left shoulder.
Crew working quick.
Lots of black jerseys around Fowler.
Yeah, the Crew have been really good at really moving the ball with some pace. Who will they go to? Briscoe dishes it in for Caitlin Brooks. Now going up to Fowler, back down. Number 13, that's Lexi Clements. Put up for 3, that's too far.
Ball stays with UMHB.
10 seconds on the shot clock.
And we have Mia Lozoya coming in for Amelia Fowler for UMHB.
Crew working around the arc. Trying to find Adila K. Once again, Crew keep the ball, but 4 seconds on the shot clock. They're gonna have to get off one quick.
There's been lots of moving hands by the Tigers, and it's really good to see, that tenacious fervor just off of that defense. There have been hands everywhere, and there's been great, help. I know I saw this last possession with Jalen Martin. As UMHB steps out of bounds. Ball Trinity. That was a great defensive possession all around by Trinity.
Now finally, the Tigers get to take the ball down the court. It felt like it's been a while.
And without full court pressure. I know Fowler just came out, and she was usually the one that was pressing up.
It is Jivy with the ball. We go down to O'Rourke. O'Rourke works her way up the court. Now back out to Caceres. Caceres with the mid-range shot. Breaks that. No shot drought for the Tigers.
This is a good little step back. Great finish.
And
good
now
defensive possession. Picked up by Ivory Scott. Attempt at the left-handed layup with Jalen Martin. Couldn't connect, but let's see if they can get the ball back.
13-15. Crew call timeout. Seeing as the pace of play has much favored the Tigers. We'll see what the Crew discuss in their huddle. Head coach for the Crusaders is Katie Novak-Lenoir. She has brought a lot of success for the Crew. Of course, they made the NCAA tournament last year. Looking for more aspirations this year, playing a tough conference, the ASC. Of course, the big player there is Hardin-Simmons. An opponent the Tigers know well, too.
Oh, yes.
The Tigers will not just play a game against Mary Hardin-Baylor here. They'll go up to Belton and play one later on the season. So UMHB wanting to play the Tigers 2 times.
Yes.
I'd say a good choice.
Yes.
Playing tough competition.
Let's see if the Tigers can close out this quarter with some of the same intensity that these had these last 2 possessions on defense. And it continues. You see Ivory Scott and Jalen Martin. Good hands by Skywork as she picks this one off in that press.
O'Rourke works it in. Now back out to Muller. The 3 doesn't go. A little too strong. Martin with the offensive board. It goes in. This game is tied.
Great rebound by Jalen Martin, really just jumping above. And another steal by Jivy Cáceres. Great finish, little Euro step to the left and finish with a little flick on the right side.
So Tigers take the lead, 17-15.
And this is all stemmed off of their defense. It really has.
Adela Kay working against two Tigers. Can't finish. Rebound by Scott.
Helped by Ivory Scott. She did a great job at coming off of the other corner and putting her hands up and making sure that she kept those hands up, got the rebound, ended up giving up to Maddie Muller in this last possession, who kicked it off to Skyer Work, who finished on that right side with a beautiful layup. And of course, they came back with the same intensity on defense, trying to finish this off in the last 45 seconds of this first quarter.
Usually you want a timeout to work in your favor, but I think it's had the opposite effect for UMHB.
It has.
Addison James back on the court for the Crew. They'll have Josie Bruder to inbound it, likely, I'm guessing, to Emilian Fowler. Fowler working against Martin.
Foul on Jalen Martin. They're pretty, I think they're being a little tense about the foul, but maybe that just, may be me. Those two hands are pretty much an automatic foul. And they're at the line now. UMHB is in the bonus. Let's see if Fowler can connect on these two shots as she hits the first one.
Yeah, it's a 9-0 run for the Tigers right now. Really storming back to take a good lead.
I'm interested to see if Fowler will pick up a little higher now that she's back in the game. And she misses the second one. A rebound by the Crew.
Trying to work it in, drops the ball, picked up by Caceres.
Great pick by Jivy Cáceres, slowing it down a little bit.
Oh, but the Tigers, no, it's Tiger ball. Emilian Fowler is not happy with that call.
She got tech.
Trying to replay that one in my memory to see who that went off last.
I think it was off UMHB. There was two players around Skyerwork as the ball went out of bounds. Here we can see the replay. I really saw that it went off of UMHB last. Oh. I rescind my words. But it's okay. Skyerwork misses the shot at the charity stripe.
And I suppose if you're a Crew fan, you can say, ball don't lie.
That is very true. That is very true.
Well, nothing going for Sky O'Rourke at the charity stripe that time.
But the Tigers still have the ball, so let's see what they can do in this possession. 25 seconds left on that shot clock. Looking at Jivy Cáceres.
Get it to Cáceres. Not without some traffic, though. Shot clock is off. They hand it off to Muller. Muller trying to get it to Cáceres. It'll be ball Trinity as Briscoe punched it out of bounds. See who the Tigers go to for this last shot. Hand it off to Martin.
10 seconds left.
To O'Rourke. O'Rourke. That got to Scott. Scott in. She puts up. And it goes in.
Great way to finish that last quarter by the Tigers. Great puncture by Ivory Scott. Little inside hand finish, high off the glass. And by the time it went through the net, there was half a second left on at that clock. What's your thoughts headed out of this first quarter by the Tigers? They came off of that dry spell and really finished it off correctly.
Yeah, that defense just really started working for them. And then you go on that 9-0 run. You go up 21-16. But I am interested about what our man on the floor, Caleb Reed, has to say. Caleb, we're sending it down to you.
Well, guys, during the media timeout to start off, Coach Hill was saying, hey, guys, I am really loving the defensive intensity. Offense, we need to start being free to attack. We need to start stepping up. And then during the timeout that UMHB called, again, he reiterated the message. Make sure to attack, get on the attack, get after them. Doing great defensively, offense needs to step it up. And then immediately after that timeout, Trinity went on that big 9-0 run that we just saw to end out the quarter. So the message is definitely working, and right now Trinity is flowing very, very well.
Thank you, Caleb. Court's head coach for the Tigers, Cameron Hill. I think a little over a decade with this team now.
He has been here for a while, and I'm really excited to see our new assistant coach.
As Mr. John Franklin.
Yes.
We've had several assistant coaches go on to do great things. Of course.
We have, of course, we have Joe Shotland, who is at the University of Dallas.
Yeah, UT Dallas.
UT Dallas, excuse me. Joe Shotland was a great guy. He actually recruited me to come play here at Trinity. I have nothing but the utmost respect for him. And the last time Trinity actually played him was 2 years ago with a big group of our seniors. But it was a great time to have him back in this gym. And I'm still, once again, very eager to see what John Franklin does for this team. I know he brings a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of good coaching. And I've heard great things from the players about him overall.
Always found it funny how similar Shotland and Coach Hill were in their mannerisms. On the
it was
court.
like older brother and little brother. I think it was a beautiful relationship that they had.
You see Savignon on the court for the Tigers. She's wearing number 12. 3 put up doesn't go, but board by Briscoe.
Bailey Timmons looked like she was touching her head for a little bit there. Wondering if she's okay.
Next shot doesn't fall for the Crew either, but
Briscoe and Minter did not want to let that ball go. But the ball's inevitably the Tigers.
sweet tie ball goes for the Tigers now. We'll swap that possession arrow. Napoli trying to get it to Minter, but read like a book. Easy points for number 33, Addison James. So Minter will have the ball first. It's down to Napoli.
Looks like UMHB is in somewhat of a 2-3 zone right now. And a foul by number 33, reaching across Minter's body. Addison James.
We'll have Minter inbound it for Trinity. Get it out to Timmons, immediate three. Doesn't go.
It looked like there could have been maybe a one more pass to Livy Savignon, that right corner, but that's all right. They're headed into defense. And I want to say Trinity is also in what it looks like a little zone.
Adeleke goes back out to Emilian Fowler. Fowler in, but they kick it back out. Where will the Crew go? They hand it to Fowler for the three.
Good contest by Kylie Minter as it's collected by Livy Savignon.
Savignon, another freshman for this Tiger squad. Quick three is good for Josie Napoli.
It's good to see her get started pretty early. And Livy Savignon picking up some full court pressure with Kylie Minter.
Now the Crew, once again, Bruder handing it back to Fowler. Fowler loses the ball.
Picked up by Josie Napoli.
Napoli back down to Minter. Minter tries to dish it in. Kicked back out. Savignon, the three. Oh, it doesn't go off the rim, but almost saved by the Tigers. They save it for the Crew. So the Crew will get another opportunity here. Briscoe.
Saw Bailey Timmons try and jump that a little bit.
Emilian Fowler in the paint. Dishes it to Minter.
Right, it
seemingly.
was a pass right to her. Let's see what they can do in this possession. Adjusting to the UMHB zone defense. Josie Napoli thought about that for a second. And it,
just
it like
rolled it in.
crawled in. It really just crawled in from underneath that rim.
Napoli starting to heat up. She had been conspicuously quiet in the first quarter. And now really coming on here. 7 points for her.
Good to see her get it going early in this second quarter. I think that's what was kind of missing in that first quarter. I know Minter kind of picked up the slack a little bit from that first, starting five. But I think headed into this zone defense for the Tigers is really good, making sure UMHB slows down. In that first quarter, they were just really living off of that transition and puncturing so easily. But staying in that zone is making sure that help is pretty much always there. And I think it's worked well for them in these first couple possessions. So let's see if they stay in it. And let's see if they can extend that onto the full court, because I know that they're coming out in this zone press. It's a little more full court, and I know in that last press possession we had Livy Savignon and Kylie Minter starting at the wings, or at the elbows, excuse me, in their full court press. But they've had a couple shots go in early. Let's see what they can do for just like a regular set possession.
I'm sure the Crew right now doing a much better job staying out of foul trouble in this second quarter. I think we were almost at bonus,
Yes.
like at this point in the first quarter, so
Yeah.
doing a good job. Man, did Kylie Minter hurt them in that department. 8 points, 5 of them from the free throw line.
She stayed aggressive, and that's how they got started early.
The Crew ready to go. Trying to work it. And they get past the press. Wow. Fancy passing, but doesn't end up working out for them.
That was one of those things where it was a 10-cent move, I mean, $1 million move and a 10-cent finish. It's a little mean to say, but gosh, I'm not a UMHB fan, but dang, if that went in, I would have screamed. It was a great thought though, and it was, oh, I really wish that went in. That's on me though.
Crew back in. Briscoe, nope, they go to Adeleke. Adeleke drops the ball for a moment and gets it stripped. Elaine King muscling her way in there.
Skipped it to Kylie Minter by Livy Savignon.
Minter's shot bricks off of the rim. Whistle blown.
That was on Elaine King. Again, an unnecessary foul. You know, you see this a lot of times, and even in professional basketball. You see our center trying to pick up 94 feet away from the court or from the basket. And it's just, you know, it wasn't necessary, but it slows UMHB down.
Briscoe goes down into Brooks. Brooks handing it in into Kronk. Kronk back out to Brooks. And Brooks throws it to one of the fans in the stands.
He pump faked a little bit. He got real excited.
Been a lot of errant passes from the Crew.
And that's based off of the Trinity defense and making sure your hands are always up, making sure that pressure is always put on the person with the ball.
Napoli gets it to Minter. Minter immediately swarmed. Back out to Napoli. Napoli to Minter. Minter thought about a three, but thinks better of it. Minter goes up to Napoli again. 10 seconds on the shot clock. A little contested there, but taken by King. Whistle blown.
Blocking foul on number 25, Josie Bruder.
Bruder, yes.
That's that little question mark at the end of that.
German name.
Yes.
Bruder in German means brother. So.
You do know German. I forgot this. To all Tiger Network people listening, Reed Rosales is pretty good in German. Kylie Minter goes up against 2 UMHB defenders off the glass.
Das ist 2 Punkte für Kylie Minter.
A little dish off by UMHB to finish off that right-handed layup. Again, in transition, they're really going hard. Josie Napoli try to connect in transition over there.
The Crew are back on the attack. Dishing it in. Can't finish, loses the ball, but it stays with the Crew.
I think that was off Kylie Minter.
Really trying to work Kronk in the paint, but this is a lot of Tigers, ultimately. Who will the Crew go to? Quick three. Doesn't fall for Lexi Clements.
The ball picked up by Bailey Timmons.
Oh, I thought Minter was about to take a three there. But instead, she'll get fouled.
I'm so proud of Kylie Minter for remaining really aggressive. And she's really been good about, you know, starting off her, you know, anytime she gets the ball with a little jab or a pump fake just to get her defender reacting. And I think she's read really well off those reactions because she's got them on her hip and they've inevitably given her, you know, fouls as she's been trying to go to the basket. It's her 4th time at that line today.
Right now, she's 5 for 6.
Hits the first one.
6 for 7. Tigers leading this one by 9. Could be 10 in just a moment. It will remain 9. I qualified it. Briscoe gets it under Greenwood. 3 up. Clements can't make it again. Bailey Timmons picks up the ball. Minter trying to find somebody, but instead picked off. That'll be an easy finish for Lexi Clements that time. So good pickup by Keziah Bacher, number 1 for the Crew. Samuel dishing it into Greenwood. Greenwood slips, gets fouled.
Blocking foul on number 24, Carly Kronk. And we see Rachel Okoye. There we go. She's coming in for UMHB.
And the Crew at 4 personal fouls in this quarter. 1 more, and that'll send the Tigers to the bonus. Quick 3.
In and out by Bailey Timmons. That one actually kind of hurt my heart a little bit.
Trying to get it in.
Oh, but Bailey Timmons fouls. Got a little overzealous.
So Briscoe will be waiting for the ball from number 25. That is Josie Bruder. Briscoe goes back to Bruder. Bruder spins. Hands it back to Briscoe. Briscoe pierces the arc, hands it out to Okoye. To Bachert. Bachert is short.
A good rebound by Kylie Minter, and she got fouled coming down. And again, she's going to the line.
Kylie Minter is a magnet for fouling, it seems. Or being fouled rather.
But I think she just found herself being in positions where she, is aggressive, and even on these past defensive possessions, she's been in good blocking position, been close to the ball. I think she's read it pretty well off the rim, especially on that last one.
Sakina Gordon in for UMHB. That's number 40.
Minter hits the first one.
Minter was a transfer last year from University of Southern Arkansas, D2 squad.
She goes 2 for 2 and extends that lead to 11.
Big pass to Bachert. Keziah Bachert drops the ball for a moment, but picks herself up. But then she drops it again.
Yeah, it was a good little back tap by Livy to get the ball in that last possession.
Savignol finds Timmons in the paint. Wow. Hits it off of Briscoe as it flies out of bounds. So Tiger ball again.
And it was a good pass by Savignol finding Bailey Timmons. She couldn't connect on the pass or on the catch, but she made sure to keep the possession with the Tigers.
Napoli kicks it out to Savignol. The 3. I think someone got a hand on that one. So Crew will be in transition again. Goye going down to Bruder. Bruder finds Bachert. Bachert's 3. No good.
Again, Kylie Minter found that ball on the backside of the rim. And possession remains with Trinity. And we have a couple subs coming in. Ivory Scott, Skyerwork, Jalen Martin for Bailey Timmons, Livy Savignon, Natalie Greenwood.
And again, this is another stretch where the Tigers haven't put any shots in, but they really haven't had to. Napoli on the near side goes to the far side to Minter. Minter defers it back to Napoli. They go to O'Rourke. O'Rourke with the pass to Minter. Kylie Minter. Nice pass to Scott. Scott's jumper on the move doesn't fall.
Foul on Trinity. Let's see what this is on. On Ivory Scott, after she took that little mid-range floater, she ended up fouling. And we have Fowler coming in for the Crew.
Everyone bunched up right now. We'll head back. Josie Bruder will be the one to inbound it for the Crew. Tigers there to match the Crew players. A full court press in effect. Bruder trying to work her way through. Long pass taken by Okoye. Okoye hands it to Briscoe. Briscoe back to Okoye in the corner. Kicks it back out to Emilian Fowler. Trying to work it into Bruder. Another tie ball.
And it seemed like in that last possession, Trinity was everywhere. As soon as the ball skipped, the entire defense shifted. I know that Jalen Martin, as soon as they skipped it from the right baseline up into this left wing, she was there ready to, force her defender baseline. And she did great because as soon as it went down to the block, Josie Napoli was there to tie up the ball. So great defensive possession. Let's see if they can finish it out in these last 10 seconds.
Yeah, they've certainly made things uncomfortable for the Crew in terms of shot selection. Koye hands it off to Bruder. Shot clock under 5 now. Back out to Briscoe. Briscoe's shot doesn't go. Bit of a hooker, but nothing happening there.
Foul by Briscoe as Skyerwork collected it off of that last possession. She's going to the line. And we have some subs coming in for the Tigers, Maddie Muller and Jivy Cáceres lining up as Skyerwork comes on to shoot 2 from the line.
UMHB's scoring drought has reached 2 minutes.
The Tigers really got to connect on these free throws. They're really being handed to them. They just got to finish them off.
That one doesn't fall either. Unsuccessful trip to the charity stripe. Fowler and the Crew trying to break their scoring drought.
This looks similar to the Crew that finished off that last quarter. Let's see if they can come off with the same defensive intensity.
I get it to James. James back out to Okoye. Okoye doesn't take the 3. Instead works her way in. Hits up Fowler. The shot doesn't go. Once again, the Tigers another opportunity to extend their lead. Big pass to Muller. Go down to Scott. Scott back up to Muller. Muller's 3. Airmailed. Ball is loose. Another tie ball. Tigers get the ball back.
Yeah, it was there. Jivy Cáceres, after that shot by Muller, made sure to try and collect that.
Be Lexi Clements back on the court for the Crew. Number 13. Less than 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Muller trying to get it to O'Rourke, but instead in the hands of the Crew. Crew down by 9. Right to the left. Back down in the corner. Now into James. James shot in the paint doesn't go. Bit of an embargo on points right now for both sides.
I don't know about that. It kind of looked like it went off of the Crew as Jalen Martin and one of the Crew players were going for it. That could be me. It could be my angle, but I don't know about that last call. That one's for sure. That was definitely off
That was
the Tigers.
intentional. Neither side has scored in a little over 2:45. Who will break that drought first? Bruder trying to spin around Caceres. Can't do so. Short jumper doesn't go for Okoye. So Scott and the Tigers. Gets it down to Caceres. To O'Rourke. Back out to Scott, the 3. Nothing doing.
And I think they called a foul on Jalen Martin as she was trying to go up for that rebound. Called it a little push in the back. But overall, that last possession for Trinity was really, really good. We saw some puncture passes. Initially started with Cáceres passing it to the right corner to Skyerwork, who had a great baseline pass, skipped it to Ivory Scott, had a good look at the basket for the 3. But, at least they maintained that good intensity with trying to collect that ball. I know Jalen Martin just got that last defensive possession, and she was really hungry for it coming off of that rebound.
Crew trying to break the scoring drought. Both sides are at this point. James works her way in. Still nothing going. Ball to the Tigers. I feel like we're fighting every way not to score for both sides.
For both sides. That ball, when it rattled in and out, looked just like Bailey Timmons' shot a couple minutes ago. It was in the basket, and it said, no, I don't really want to be in here. And it just found, and then it just slipped its way out.
Trying to get a pass inside, but deflected by Gordon. Million Fowler finds Gordon. Shot up. Drought broken and one for the Crew.
I think the foul was on Jalen Martin in that last possession. I know it happened really quickly, but if Ivory Scott maybe would have just stayed down instead of risking it a little higher, you know, that pass wouldn't have gone down. But you live and learn. It's all right. Let's see if number 44, Michaela Ward, can finish this off. And she doesn't. She doesn't finish off that three-point play.
Yeah, a lot of missed free throws for both sides, too. Caceres goes up to Scott in the corner. Three for Moeller. In and out.
But collected by Skylar Rourke, who finishes off.
No droughts on either side now. No shot clock either. Bruder trying to break the press. Gets it to Fowler. James takes the three. She sinks it. Tigers have to be quick. Chucked up, but buzzer had already sounded.
That last possession was a little weird.
Addison James ends the first half with a three. Tigers up 33-27. So Annika, what were your takeaways?
I think defensively that the second quarter coming in, well, for the Tigers, coming into this zone was a completely transformative change. I don't think that UMHB got as many, easy transition points. I know that Fowler was a big part of that coming off in that first quarter because she was a big part of the attacking, breaking that Tiger press, straight away. But, overall, I think that the Tigers are being a little bit more patient on offense, and it's really working for them. I know at least these last couple players for the Tigers are really good at maintaining or finishing off those possessions, on defense by being there for the block out, reading the ball well off the rim. But overall, I think they're in great position headed into this second half.
Now we'll get the thoughts to the man on the court. Caleb Reed, send it down to you.
Yeah, guys, it's been honestly an incredible second quarter for sure for this Trinity squad. Waiting right now for Coach Cameron Hill down there on the bench. But just something to kind of note, during the timeouts, of course, Coach Hill mentioned everybody just needs time to figure out what UMHB is doing. But then once they figure out what's going on, they are locked in. They know what's happening. As we've got, I believe, some members of the volleyball team starting to try and take shots out here on the court. But Coach Hill mentioned energy is absolutely fantastic. I will make sure to let you guys know, as that half-court shot was not really all that close. I'll make sure to let you guys know whenever Coach Hill is ready down here on the floor.
Thank you, Caleb. That gives us some more opportunity to talk about some nitty-gritty stats.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Jalen Martin in a little bit of foul trouble. 3 fouls for Jalen Martin at the end of this first half.
It's not a big deal, honestly. I think she's a smart enough player to realize that she needs to back up a little bit. But that just comes from, just being really intense on defense. And I'm pretty sure 2 of those fouls came off of, rebounds. And she was trying to come, from behind and crash the boards pretty hard. But
we're going to send it down to Caleb Reed again with a special guest.
Yeah, guys, and so I've got new assistant head coach John Franklin here. First off, what do you think of the Trinity atmosphere here for your first game?
Well, second time being here, but the atmosphere is always great. So can't get any better than being at Trinity, especially for the first game.
Yeah, and so defensive intensity has been great all game long. Was that kind of a point of focus that you guys made during practice during the week?
It is. I mean, it's something that we focus on every single day. Right now, our defense is definitely creating our offense. Our offense will catch up to our defense, so we're not that worried about it.
Yeah, and so we've seen quite a few freshmen be able to get into the game, at least during the first half. what has really impressed you the most about this class so far this year?
They're poised. They're poised, and their competitiveness. So, I mean, that's the thing that impresses us the most about them. But I mean, they're ready to play. They are.
Yeah, and a final question: what are you guys going to be telling the team heading into the half, getting ready for the second?
Mainly, just have a sense of urgency. Just continue to be aggressive, and hopefully, at the end, we're the ones that are on the right side of the victory. So,
Awesome, Coach. Thank you so much.
all right, thank you.
Guys, back up to you.
Thank you, Caleb. We'll take a break on the Tiger Network as we go through the break in the half. We are almost underway in the second half for Trinity University versus Mary Hardin-Baylor. Tigers lead at 33-27. We have a slight change to the Trinity starting lineup for this half. Livy Savagnon, part of the starting lineup.
A little bit of a shorter lineup coming in for Trinity. I'm pretty sure Bailey Timmons will maybe move down to a forward position. But let's see if they can maintain this defensive intensity headed into the second half as UMHB takes it out at the half-court line.
And Bruder reminding everybody, hey, we're going that way, as everyone was set up on the wrong side of the court. Bruder. Back out to Fowler. Emilian Fowler. Goes back up to the top of the court to Bruder. Bruder. Three from the crew doesn't fall.
But Fowler tried to get that rebound, and Josie Napoli fouled her on her way down. It's one of those things where you got to do the work early and box out, even if you are behind the arc.
We'll see Addison James, number 33. Got the three that ended the last half. Bruder. Down to Briscoe. Briscoe back up to Bruder. Bruder in the arc. Back out to Briscoe. Briscoe in the paint. Rolls out for Briscoe.
Briscoe couldn't connect there, but a good box out by Josie Napoli for Briscoe to tap it out of bounds as the ball ends up being Trinity. It looks like Emilian Fowler's going to pick up a little high, just like she's been doing in that first half. And if you noticed it in this last possession, but the Tigers were actually in that zone that they started off that second quarter with, and I think it worked pretty well.
Minter will lead the Tigers down the court. 33-27 still. Go to Elaine King, back down to Minter. Minter having to deal with some of the crew defenders. Savagnon gets the handoff from King. Corner three from Timmons, too far. Krug, quick to respond. Bruder works it in and scores. Beautiful shot.
It's a great puncture by Bruder to finish it off in the little mid-range area. I think Trinity needs to really work on not just puncturing the defense by pass, but by dribbling, especially for zone, to get people moving and get people shifting. As Savagnon passes it off to Napoli on that left wing, couldn't connect on the three, but collected by the crew.
And they go to Fowler. Fowler moving down. Hands it off to Bruder. Bruder loses the ball for a moment, but whistle blown.
Foul on Kylie Minter off of a little swipe. It's only her second, so she's remaining in good position. It's not too worrisome.
Briscoe going to Bruder. Long pass to Addison James.
James thought about that for a second, but it was collected by Kylie Minter, who stays on the ground for a little bit. It looked like she was trying to go behind the back. A little slow to get up.
I think Minter may have hit her head.
Yeah, it was a hard fall.
Back up, but a little shaken up. And she will stay in.
But coming in for the crew is number 34, Brooks, for Briscoe, excuse me.
Minter having to deal with Caitlin Brooks. They go up to Napoli. Napoli works her way to her left. Can't get the dish in to Timmons, taken away by Emilian Fowler. Fowler, quick from the elbow, doesn't fall, but offensive board. Bruder to Brooks. Brooks goes back down. Ball slips out of the hand. Crew ball.
But readjusted by the refs to make sure that the ball stays with Trinity. That was a good defensive deflection by Bailey Timmons as it inevitably went off of the tips of a UMHB player.
Napoli down to Minter. Minter jump pass to Savignol. Beautiful passing for a beautiful finish by Bailey Timmons.
Great cut by Bailey Timmons, recognizing that there wasn't any defense on her side. And a great pass by Livy Savignon. She dribbled into the paint.
Addison, nothing falling there for her. But the Crew save it. Offensive board. Brooks gets it to Bruder. And the Crew respond.
Not much you can do there. I mean, Bailey Timmons kept her hands up, did a good job. I think the Tigers are slowly realizing that as soon as they pick up the ball, either on the left or right wing, two defenders are coming at them pretty intensely. And they're just trying to make decisions out of that. And you can see one of those happen right there as two UMHB defenders came to a Trinity player on that left side, kicked it off to Bailey Timmons as she knocked it down for the three.
Three taken by Bruder.
And a quick response by UMHB.
Bruder is at 12 points now for the Crew. Really surging in that category. Minter goes to Napoli. Napoli back to Minter. Corner three attempt. Does not go.
And a jump ball with Bailey Timmons hitting the floor pretty hard. It looks like it may have been a head hit. But she was right there as soon as UMHB player thought that they had the ball. As Chris Ramos, the Trinity trainer, comes by and checks on Bailey Timmons.
This looks like it might take a moment. We'll take a break on the Tiger Network as we hope that Timmons is okay. Timmons comes off the court. Looks like a very hard hit, so.
The ball stays within Trinity hands.
Napoli passes it to Minter. Thought about the three, doesn't take it. I got to Napoli, back to Minter. Minter trying to find somebody, has to defer it to Napoli again. Just thrown up, doesn't fall. But it resets the shot clock. Savignol going down the arc. Minter. Nothing happening again. Adeleke with the rebound.
Jalen Martin came in for Bailey Timmons as soon as she got up. So she had great defensive intensity in that first quarter. Let's see if she can bring it for the Tigers with this lineup in this third quarter. Timeout called. Media timeout.
Yeah, one of our media timeouts, even though in Division III we don't really, not really any media to play.
Well, we should petition for media to be played.
But right now, the Crew are slowly getting their way back into this one. They're only trailing by 4. Tigers just need to find a way to start scoring a bit more consistently.
Yes, I mean, the shots are pretty good. I mean, they've had good three-point looks. They just haven't fallen. I know that Kylie Minter shot that last one, but I think where they need to start looking and where they really excelled at in the first half was getting to the rim. That's where Kylie Minter started off her scoring. That's where Josie Napoli started off her scoring. And especially, you know, some of the girls that came off the bench, but making sure to puncture that paint is very important. And I think UMHB is doing a really good job at trying to sit back and let Trinity, you know, work around the arc, but Trinity needs to do a better job at making punctures by dribbling, because obviously they have two defenders coming at them as soon as they pass, so making reads off the defense is really important. And I know the last possession that I can remember that happened was Livy making that connection to Bailey Timmons for that little backdoor layup, so we just need more of those possessions to look like that.
Tigers and Crew back on the court. 38-34. Tigers still leading. It'll be Addison James to inbound it for the Crew. Gets it to Fowler. Fowler having to deal with Minter. Works her way up the court, hands it off to Lexi. Kicks it back out. 3 from Brooks. It was a deep one, doesn't go. Tigers quick in transition. Minter lets everyone get set up. Ball taken away, but whistle blown.
Foul by Elaine King, which I thought was going to be on Kylie Minter with a little swipe, but it's kind of odd. Let me see this replay. Oh, they weren't going to replay it. It's a little surprising to see that coming from Elaine Minter. I mean, Elaine King, not Elaine Minter.
38-34. Million Fowler trying to spin around, gets it to Lexi Martin. Working, and are the crew. 3 put up. Million Fowler can't finish the deal. Savignon with the board.
Good football pass by Savignon to Minter as she dribbles it up to maintain the possession for the Tigers.
Going out to the corner, Savignon. Not quite yet. Minter thought about it. Instead goes into King. Long pass to Napoli. Another attempt from Savignon. In and out.
It seems like that's been the way of the game in this third quarter for both teams, really.
Crew. Ball was loose for a moment, but Adilake can't finish.
And foul by Adilake as Josie Napoli collected that ball off the shot. Really got trampled. I'm glad no one came out hurt from that possession. Thought it was a great job by Jalen Martin during that whole possession to, keep her hands up, make sure her body was moving correctly. As we head into another timeout.
38-34. Score has not changed. Once again, both sides struggling in the scoring department. 4:15 left to play. Neither side has gotten a point in 2 minutes.
I think the last couple shots for the Tigers have been threes. And they really just need to get inside the paint, whether that be a mid-range jumper, mid-range floater. I think it gives, them a better opportunity to get the rebound if more people are inside the paint, So I think that's something that maybe Coach Cameron Hill may bring up in this timeout. Instead of, I don't want to say settling for the 3, but just making sure that the looks are a little better.
Yeah, right now the shots are they're going up, but not going in for the Tigers right now. They've had good looks.
They have.
But 0 for their last 5. I don't think either side.
And we have some new Tiger faces coming in for this, out of this timeout. Jivy Caceres and Skyar Work are in for the Tigers. And Jivy had a great start for the Tigers in that first half. She had 4 points, 1 off of a beautiful little step back, and then off of a steal. She finished on that right side.
Minter goes to Napoli. Napoli back up to Caceres. Skyar O'Rourke hands it off to Napoli again. Minter loses the ball, taken by Addison James. James does finish. Crew pull within 2. Jivy having to deal with Brooks. Long pass taken away by Addison James. Way too high arcing of a pass.
Doesn't finish, but it's fouled by Elaine King. The Crew is really reading those skip passes by the Tigers. Especially Addison James, as she just got, two steals, 1 off of Kylie Minter and the other off of Jivy Caceres, trying to skip past that.
Yeah, it's that risk you run with those cross-court passes sometimes.
But I think the Tigers may be picking up the ball just too early. They got to maintain your dribble, maybe give a little hesitation dribble, see if you can get around one defender and then make other defenders try and step up, and that's when you can start making passes off of reactions instead of just passing to pass.
Addison James missed her first free throw.
with the Trinity student section roaring as Addison James makes her second one.
I do believe there are some football players in the student section.
Yes.
Napoli in the corner. He's back out to Minter. Minter to Caceres. They get into King. Napoli with the 3. Doesn't fall again, but offensive board for the Tigers. Minter takes the 3. Again, doesn't fall. Crew ball.
And Skywork tried to argue that it was off of the crew, which I thought it was too. But once again, my position up here may not be the best look. As Ivory Scott comes in for Elaine King. Let's see, the Tigers are starting off their defensive possession with what it looks like their zone press.
Crew quick to get it down court. Briscoe pierces the arc, loses the ball.
The foul may be on Josie Napoli, and it was.
It's Napoli's second foul.
And once again, I think it was just off of that two-handed touch.
6-0 run for the Crew. It's certainly helped by the Tigers. Scoring drought, almost 4 minutes now.
Now they are in bonus, so the Crew is headed up to the line. I feel like the Tigers, especially on offense, are kind of just living and dying by that 3 right now. Even in that last possession, I think Kylie Minter had the option, you know, to have a 1-2 little dribble and maybe pull it up at the elbow, but decided to push it back out for the 3.
Crew take the lead, 39-38. Tigers really needing to find a way to score. They find Napoli in the corner. She works her way in, kicks it back out to Minter. Thought about a 3, thinks better of it. Minter to Caceres. Caceres, 3 from Minter. Again, doesn't fall. Tigers are right now as close to ice cold as you can get.
But they did a great job. I think their defensive energy is still really there. I mean, you saw it in this last possession when the Crew picked up the ball and Skywork and Josie Napoli immediately swarmed her, and she inevitably just walked out of bounds. So ball back with the Tigers. Let's see if they can switch some things around as Maddie Miller comes in for Kylie Minter. A great 3-point shooter. So let's see if they can get out of this little cold streak.
Scott goes to Muller. The 3 from the corner doesn't go. Open lane for Brooks. Loses the ball. Stays with the Crew.
Looked like it was blocked by Maddie Muller as she was headed back down in defense and transition.
Yeah, I don't think either side's gonna go home after this one and say, we had a great day shooting.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But I think what both sides can say is that their defense was pretty good. Defensive energy, I should say, at least. Defensive intention. Intention's always there. I don't know if execution may always be there, but intention is pretty much always there.
Pass out to Brooks. Goes down to Bruder. Bruder to her left. Finds James. James works her way in. Kicked it back out to Briscoe. Briscoe to Bruder. Back to James. Loses the ball for a moment. Muller presses, but we get the pass to Bruder again. Shot put up. Doesn't go.
Foul on the floor by Josie Napoli as she was trying to box out. And she gets called for her 3rd. So ball stays with the Crew as they go up for their shot at the line. Shooting for the Crew is Carly Cronk. She hits the first one.
So the Crew have 40 now on their side. Trying to make it 41.
Looks like Livy Savignon is about ready to check in. And I'm pretty sure she's coming in for Josie Napoli. As Cronk misses her 2nd shot, picked up by Skywork. Nearly picked up by UMHB on a cross-court pass.
Napoli.
Foul on number 25 by UMHB. And Josie Napoli comes out for Livy Savignon coming in.
See who Savignon goes to. She goes to Caceres. Now to O'Rourke. Trying to dish it in. Can't get there. Ball is loose. Tiger ball.
Stays with the Tigers. Looks like they had to fight for that ball. A couple of possessions.
Be Ivory Scott to inbound it. Savignon back to Scott.
Scott was still out of bounds whenever Savignon gave it back to her in a little bounce pass. But still maintaining the zone press pretty high up the court.
Crew get it to Briscoe. Briscoe works her way near center of the court. They hand it off to James. Brooks getting swarmed. Kick it out. 3 from Bruder. Doesn't go.
Collected by Cáceres as they're looking up in transition. Hits Livy to Scott.
Ball is loose, taken away by James. Addison James, Muller to beat, and she does. 42-38, Crew with a multi-possession lead.
That was James' second possession of this quarter, where she pretty much took it all the way down.
Less than a minute here in the third. Savignon goes to Muller in the corner. O'Rourke. Money from O'Rourke.
Clears up that dry spell.
First points for the Tigers in about 6 minutes.
Great 10-second defensive possession by the Tigers, coming off of Skyworks' big 3. And you just look at that entire offensive possession when they just had it. Livy Savignon came off that right drive down the baseline. Hit, I want to say it with Cáceres if I can remember correctly. Oh, sorry, it was Maddie Muller who gave a one more pass to Skywork to finish off that great possession with a made 3.
Tigers want to take back the lead. No shot clock, so they can take as much time as they want. Caceres drops the ball. Crew on the attack. Bruder puts up the shot. Whistle blown.
That foul was on Livy Savignon. I'm pretty sure that was her first.
Get some free throws from Bruder. First one, smooth. 41-43. So Tigers will likely get the last opportunity to shoot. 44-41.
This Fowler comes in for James for UMHB.
(13-3) run for the Crew over these past 6 minutes.
Skywork to inbound the ball to Cáceres.
Caceres gets it to O'Rourke. O'Rourke finds Savignon, but Briscoe there to make herself a nuisance. 0.9 on the clock. It's going to be tough for the Tigers.
Maddie Muller looks pretty open right now.
Get it to Muller, the 3. Too strong. So we go to the 4th with the Crew in the lead now, 44-41.
I'm interested to see if Cameron Hill is going to maintain himself or maintain the team in that zone defense. I don't really think it's defensive integrity that's being challenged right now. I think it's just offensive quality that just needs to look a little better, and shot selection specifically. I know that the 3s that they've taken they've been good possessions and they've been good looks. They're just not falling right now. So what do? You have to readjust and probably just get back to, driving in the lane, looking for people that are ready to be dished off to. But, overall, I thought that they did a great job at boxing out when they needed to. Got in a little foul trouble towards the end, with that ticky-tack 2-hand foul. But overall, it's pretty much what I'm seeing.
We'll head down to the man with the plan on the court, Caleb Reed. We'll send it down to you.
Yeah, guys, and so really just the big thing that Trinity has been working on, focusing on right now, is kind of finding a new identity for themselves. Of course, towards the top of the broadcast, you guys mentioned Maggie Robbins no longer on the team, of course, but also UMHB, they're also kind of going through that just a little bit. They lost their leading scorer from last year, their leading three-point shooter from last year, and so both of these teams are really going to try and find a new version of themselves heading into this upcoming season.
Thank you, Caleb. Both sides are ready for the fourth quarter.
In for the Tigers, we have Bailey Timmons, Elaine King, Josie Napoli, Ivory Scott, and Kylie Minter. It looks like they're going to head back into that man. I should have bet over-under, over-under.
We are underway once again. Quick shot from the elbow, doesn't go. Picked up by Kylie Minter. Minter looking for one of her teammates. She finds Elaine King. Gets it into Scott. Scott got swarmed. Minter doesn't take the three. Timmons to Minter. Minter works her way to the near side to Timmons. Josie Napoli.
And a charge by Josie Napoli as the UMHB player. Who was that? Carly Cronk was just waiting there right above the block.
That is Josie Napoli's. I believe that is her fourth foul.
So Skyerwork comes in for her. And it looks like the Tigers are setting up in their man press with Kylie Minter on top. Or excuse me, didn't really look like a press, more of like an extended man.
Briscoe going up to Bruder. Bruder inside and back out to Bruder. Trying to pass it in, she does to Brooks.
A little bit of a surprise there. Kylie, oh, not Kylie, Caitlin Brooks decided to rise up on Skyerwork with a couple possessions ago. She did the same thing to Josie Napoli at the elbow. And I'm pretty sure a couple words were exchanged within that possession. But Brooks does not connect for her first shot at the line. I actually thought that Skyerwork did a great job of maintaining, you know, that vertical line. And Brooks connects for her second one.
Let's see how the Tigers respond. Again, down by multiple possessions. Scott going to Minter. Lost the ball. Quick in transition are the crew. Long pass to Bruder.
Foul by Bailey Timmons. Once again, it's that two hands. And they're going to take it out. I was like, oh, they're going to go to the line. I was like, no, it's too early in the quarter.
Fowler. Goes to Briscoe. Briscoe inside the arc now. Strong pass to Bruder. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. But Bruder finishes. The crew extend their lead, 47-41.
It was a great baseline drive by Bruder as she kind of Euro-stepped Bailey Timmons to finish with her inside hand on that left goss.
Pass to Minter, the three. Again, not falling.
Foul, I want to say it was on the back by Brooks as Skyerwork was going up for the rebound and she collected it.
Tigers really wanting to hit those threes. They did four tonight. Out to Timmons. Timmons goes to Scott. Three. In and out. Another long pass to Fowler. Loses the ball. Tigers will regain possession.
Looks like Fowler kind of lost it a little bit there, but I mean, there was three Tiger defenders just waiting for her underneath the basket. So ball maintained with the Tigers. They head down for their offensive possession.
Kylie Minter and the Tigers trying to cut into this deficit. Scott goes back to Minter. Now back to Scott. Elaine King outside the three from O'Rourke. Too short. Ball is loose, picked up by the Crew. And they get it to Fowler again. Bruder takes a three. In and out.
That has really been the story of this game for every three that's pretty much gone up, or majority of them. They really have been in and out. I think the Tigers right now need to work really hard at not just working the ball back and forth around the arc, but just to really get those punctures. I mean, some of the best shots that we've seen have hit the paint. You know, they've hit the high post. They've decided, you know, somebody who's hit the high post usually have been our centers or our small forwards, and they've made decisions off of that, you know. As we have Jalen Martin coming in for Sky O'Rourke.
Yeah, if any more in and outs, I'd say we're in California.
Yeah.
Bruder gets it to Briscoe.
I'm going to start saying punctures instead of in and outs.
Fowler goes to Briscoe again on the near side. Another shot doesn't fall, but offensive board, another offensive board on another missed shot. Nothing falling, whistle blown.
Carly Cronk hit the floor a little hard after that possession. And it was. Cronk actually got called for that foul. And I think it was a foul that there was a little tiff between her and Elaine King as they were both trying to go for that ball. I thought Elaine did a really good job in that last possession, keeping her hands up. I know for that first shot that went up, she got a little hit to the chest, but she did really good.
Scott going in. Contested shot doesn't fall. The Crew.
I think it's really important right now, too, for the Tigers that may feel a little offensively frustrated, not to go for shots just to go for them or just to get them on the board, but to just look for each other still, because the passes are definitely there, you know, as Jivy Cáceres comes in for Ivory Scott with 6 minutes left in this quarter.
Briscoe for the Crew. Dishes it into Addison James. James goes back out. The three attempt. Sunk.
Carly Brooks hits that last three for UMHB.
Timmons and the Tigers. Three from Minter. Doesn't go.
And the foul looked like it was on Briscoe. And it was a push by Briscoe as Elaine King was going up. She was in the air, didn't let her land. And that was a really hard fall by Elaine King, and I hope she's doing okay. Natalie Greenwood comes in for Elaine King, and I forgot to mention too, but Jalen Martin is also in for the Tigers. And we have Fowler also coming in for UMHB, a couple subs for Briscoe.
This is a growing problem for the Tigers now. Crew up by 9. Tigers still struggling to score. Martin trying to work her way in. Gets it to Greenwood. Kicked back out to Timmons. Timmons backs out. Goes to Minter. Minter down to Timmons again. Minter, deep three. Doesn't fall.
That was a pretty deep three taken by Minter. As the Tigers head back down into their defensive set.
And it off to Caitlin Brooks. Brooks is able to finish. Tigers are down.
Brooks really muscled her way back in there, and they ended up calling her. Was this a tech? It is a tech. I don't know if this was based off of verbal, something that was said. They may replay it, but I don't know. So Natalie Greenwood goes up on the line. Did you see what happened?
I didn't quite catch what happened either.
Natalie Greenwood lets the ball rattle in. So they may show it here. You can see she muscled her way back in. And she gave a little motion with her hands. Josie Napoli is checking in for what looks like Kylie Minter. Let's see if she can create a spark for the Tigers offensively. She has 4 fouls, so she's got to be a little careful. But let's see.
Napoli, 2 Timmons, a 3. Too strong.
Ball collected by James. Given to Bruder.
Bruder back out to James. James works her way in. Bricked up the front of the rim. Martin trying to charge in, but stops for a moment. Gets it to Napoli. Josie Napoli to Martin. Back to Jivy. Nothing going, but Natalie Greenwood with the board. Next shot doesn't fall either.
And then a good defensive touch by Jalen Martin, and it goes off of her, but it maintains UMHB's ball. Again, for Trinity, I think they just need to be really patient right now. I know that was, what they thought a good look for the Tigers in that right corner. The last couple shots have been threes. They needed, give a little pump fake, get to the basket or give a little 1-2 dribble for a mid-range pull-up. But I think they're moving the ball good. It's just that shot selection at the end of the day.
And the Tigers have taken twice as many threes as the Crew, but both sides have made the same amount.
That's true.
With the Tigers down by 9. They have Napoli on the court. She is at 4 personal fouls. 1 more will send her out of the game.
Yeah, I really do think she'll be fine. I think for Trinity, their main worry really is just their offense, because they're keeping UMHB to pretty short shots and pretty fast shots. So it really isn't their defense right now. And I mean, you see with Jalen Martin, she's making great defensive plays. I mean, she just deflected that last ball out, but it really just needs to turn up on offense for the Tigers in the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds left of this game.
Tigers are ready. The Crew are also ready. Tigers are down by 9. They're going to need to find an offensive groove, because now time is going to start running out.
And it looks like they are settling back into their zone defense. It worked for them pretty well in that second quarter.
Bruder's shot doesn't fall. Board by Timmons. They give it to Jivy. Jivy swarmed by Crew.
I think Jivy picked up that ball pretty early, and she kind of let those defenders just swarm her. So keeping that ball alive is really key, especially getting away from that right sideline, because that's another defender. So making sure the ball stays within the middle of the court and working your way there.
Napoli kicks it back out to Timmons, the 3. Nothing falling for the Tigers. Natalie Greenwood puts it back in on the second attempt.
It was a great follow-up by Natalie Greenwood, making sure that that ball stayed pretty high. But I thought that last possession was really good. Josie Napoli did a great job at, creating that baseline pass. But great swat away by Natalie Greenwood. UMHB inevitably came up with the ball, but good defensive set.
Mid-range jumper doesn't go. Tigers down by 9. They'll have to work a little quick. Cazetas goes to Napoli. Back to Cazetas. Launches it over to Martin. Hands it off to Timmons. To Napoli. Back to Cazetas. Tigers trying to find a shot.
And a charge called by Caceres, or on Caceres, as Fowler took the hit. Elaine King comes in for Jalen Martin, and Briscoe comes in for Brooks. If that play wouldn't have been called as a charge, that little dish-off pass to Natalie Greenwood was a great thought.
Crew. They have all the chips right now. Briscoe goes down to Fowler. Fowler in the paint. Can't score. Minter and the Tigers. Almost 2 minutes left to play here in this game. Minter finds Napoli in the corner. Goes to Gacetas. Then to King. King spinning around. Back to Gacetas. Tigers can't find a shot. Napoli in the paint. The three. No good. Crew get the rebound.
Once again, we saw that last possession. It was really just, it was a three. It was an open three. It really was an open three. But once again, just not falling for the Tigers.
Fowler and the Crew chewing down the clock. Mid-range jumper doesn't fall.
Collected by Minter. Let's see if she can start something offensively.
Minter going to Napoli, the quick three. Nothing going.
Foul by Natalie Greenwood, I want to say, as they were fighting for that ball off that rebound. Yeah, and it was on Natalie Greenwood. And it looks like UMHB is headed to the line. Jivi Caceres coming in for Livy Savignon.
Yeah, if you're the Tigers at this point, you're kind of hoping that they're going to miss these free throws.
Yeah. But they don't. The first one rattles in for Carly Cronk. As some UMHB players come in to contest this miss, but she connects it.
Napoli and the Tigers, they have to work really quick now. Mitchell to Napoli. Three taken. I think someone got a hand on that. That was way short.
I think for them, what they think the quickest way to get close to this game again is making those threes, but we'll see how this last 45 seconds finishes itself off.
And the Crew.
Foul by Savignon with a little wraparound. And they're headed to the line. Bruder going in to the charity stripe for two.
Right now, Tigers, I feel like it's going to be our main theme that we conclude with. Scoring droughts.
It was. I really don't think it was defensive integrity at all. I mean, they did a really good job transitioning between their offensive and zone sets, and they maintained, that integrity pretty well throughout the entire game. I think they found their groove, pretty well in that second quarter, but it just feels like it's crumbling a little bit, offensively as soon as they realized that they couldn't get their three going. It was a little hard. I think tonight the Tigers live and died by that.
Bruder hands it to Brooks, back to Bruder. There is still a shot clock. Back down to Brooks. Tigers not bothering to foul. Brooks works her way in. Doesn't get the shot, but the second doesn't go either. Napoli heaves one up. And the Crew. Big opening win here in Calgard, 58-45. And the Tigers just went cold on offense.
That really was the theme of I wouldn't even say the entire game, because the first half I thought they did pretty well, but once again, I think it really started off with Kylie Minter just being aggressive on offense, making sure she got to that line. I really don't think Kylie Minter took a shot within the arc in that second half. And, the consequence was, kind of living and dying by that 3. I think as they head into future games, just maintaining that offensive intensity. They had it on defense today, but, for future games, just making sure to get to that line, especially if things aren't dropping. Just to see the ball go through the net is enough. And if that's at the free throw line, that's more than enough, I think, mentally for any player that goes through this. But it's okay. It was first game, does not dictate the rest of this season, but I'm excited to see what's, coming up, for the rest of this 2024-2025 season.
Josie Bruder for the Crew had a double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds.
Great stat line. All over the place.
Kylie Minter led the Tigers in points with 13. Trinity will be on the road in California. They will be having a Skyac showdown. On Thursday, November 21st, they will play Whittier. Then they'll go play Redlands on the 23rd. And on the 24th, they will play Claremont Mudscripts. Meanwhile, for the Crew, they'll be at Southwestern on November 15th. Well, for everybody at the Tiger Network, Annika Signs, everyone working the cameras and in the control room, and Caleb Reed, I've been Reed Rosales. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time.
Every morning, we rise, ready to meet our human potential, to take that next incremental step, to do the hard work that changes. Set in our preparedness and confidence in that moment when you know, I've got this. And then we rise. Each of us, all of us. We rise as passions coalesce in research, art, athletics, and beyond. We rise to the challenge of inquiry and discovery through undergraduate research and hands-on learning. We rise through the personal attention of a small college, fueled by large university resources. We rise to the need for listening across differences, teaching the art and the act of conversation. We rise to the sounds of a vibrant, diverse, and culturally rich city, and we reflect it. At Trinity University, we recognize that you are here because you are ready to rise. And through a love of learning and a life of learning, we will challenge you to always reach beyond the horizon. Because your future awaits.